Welcome to the Circle City News with your host, Kayla Meddert. Subscribe now and let's keep Indy informed together.
Hello and welcome back to Circle City News. I am your host, Kayla Meddert, and today we're going to be doing a review on a documentary that I watched recently on Tubi, and it is called The Story of OnlyFans and Courtney Clenny. Now, a quick summary of this documentary. It just dives into the creation of OnlyFans, how OnlyFans affected some of the lives of its models, and it includes the possible murder of Courtney Clenny's boyfriend. We also get to see a review or an interview from our former host, Sarah Duree, who was a teacher that started her OnlyFans and got fired for it. If you don't know much about OnlyFans, I highly recommend watching this because it's very informative. As a model myself, I didn't know a lot about how OnlyFans came to be. So it was a really good watch. Let's dive into this review. The documentary jumps between the story of Courtney Clenny and interviews with other OnlyFans models and their stories. As I mentioned, we get to hear from, or you can see Sarah Duree telling her story and how she was fired from her teaching position. Personally, I've read her story from news outlets that put in their own opinion, so it was really refreshing to hear it from her, for her to give her own story and not be messed with by media, you know? I really hope that she's just thriving and living her best life now. As for Courtney Clenny, she rose to fame quickly on OnlyFans, making millions, about $3 million per year. We see clips of her life as police approach her with her dying boyfriend in her arms. We hear her 911 call that she made after stabbing him. She claims it was an accident, and we see why she claims that in the documentary. Everything that we see from her seems very genuine, like she's telling the truth. It seems like she was actually really scared of what was going to happen to her boyfriend, and she wanted him to live, and she wanted to take care of him. But the crazy thing is that we see later is it might all be a lie or an act. There was a recording that he made the night that he died. And you can hear her just completely abusing him. And that was found on his phone. So yeah, there was also a clip in there that they entered an elevator together in the building that they lived in, and she starts abusing him on camera. Anyways, this documentary is going to go in and cover every aspect of that to the best of their ability, since this case is still evolving. I personally enjoyed that the doc covers the good and the bad of being an OnlyFans model. If you put in the work, you can become successful. It also covers how dangerous it can be, and how some models can even get stalkers. I myself personally had issues with stalkers and even blackmail, but I'm not going to get into that with you right now. We will cover that later. But there was one model that's mentioned in the documentary about how she had a stalker drive 400 miles to her house, snuck inside, and hid in her attic for days, taking pictures of her while she was asleep. She woke up to him standing over her. And so you'll hear more about that in the documentary if you'd like to watch it. The doc also covers the impact made on OnlyFans after celebrities joined. And boy, do they give their opinion on that. When Bella Thorne joined, it definitely screwed over a lot of OnlyFans models, especially ones that don't have as big of a following, because they lost their subscribers. Because someone big and famous, who was already rich, by the way, came in and kind of took that over. The topic I'll cover before we end is the fact that people question what OnlyFans has to do with the death of Courtney Clenny's boyfriend. And the simple answer is, it doesn't. OnlyFans models and people, even if you're not a model, if you say you're on OnlyFans, you're immediately looked down upon because you're doing content online, and other people feel like that might not be a real job, when it absolutely is. You have to put in so much work. There was this time I had a client request pictures of my feet, but he wanted hundreds of them in the same position, and that was me standing on my tippy toes. I'm not going to get into that either, but that's work. That's hard. I couldn't even stand after the end of the session. That's work, and I pay my taxes, and as does everybody else who uses OnlyFans, as you would with your regular job. So it's a job. It's a way of life. It's how we live. The documentary is very intense and informative. It dives into all of the aspects of OnlyFans, and it covers the story of Courtney Clenny. I highly recommend it, especially if you are okay with sex and true crime.
For those who had never heard of OnlyFans,
essentially a social media site, very similar to Facebook, except you can get naked on there.
People are interested in sex.
It's the teacher, it's the mom next door that's making content.
models are making millions of dollars.
There's definitely a price that comes with it.
One operator is the address of... Oh, my boyfriend is dying of a stabbing. Ma'am, what is the address?
I want you to get away from me!
Courtney was very successful on OnlyFans.
She was making $3 million a year, a seemingly happy couple on the precipice of living out their dreams. It was really a nightmare.
Courtney is pleading for help. Her boyfriend has been stabbed.
It looked like a horror movie.
Courtney told them she's the victim of domestic violence. The police believed her.
This was a close contact stab wound.
Christian did not make it.
Oh my God.
There had been domestic violence incident previously.
There's a video that's been released. It's called the elevator video.
Courtney getting visibly enraged.
Courtney Clenny was charged with murder.
OnlyFans was brought into the conversation.
In this case, there's the race and the gender card.
She is going to use whatever she can to try to get out of this possible murder conviction.
Don't touch me!
Be sure to listen and follow our podcast on circlecitynews.org, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you all for listening, and keep it real out there.